Welcome everyone to Ratioed. My name is Harrison Faulkner. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that things are not going so well for Justin Trudeau these days. And when I say not going so well, what I really mean is that things are going horribly wrong for the Prime Minister. With poll numbers plummeting and moving in the wrong direction, with the Canadian economy in the gutter, now over 80% of Canadians now think we're in a recession, and despite the best efforts from Canada's liberal legacy media journalists, Justin Trudeau's stenographers, to try and paint his opposition, the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre, as dangerous far-right populists, well, none of it is working. Just take a look at the latest 5-minute tirade he delivered on Tuesday. Guys, I'm really starting to think it's getting to him. The question with all of this is this the beginning of the end for Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister of Canada, or is the drama teacher pulling one more act on us? Now drop a like in the video, help us out by subscribing to the True North YouTube channel, and the comment question for the episode is this: do you believe in mainstream media polling anymore? Let me know in the comments, stick around for the Ratio of the Week award, and let's get into it. All right, so you guys have to see this clip if you haven't already. This happened on Tuesday afternoon when Justin Trudeau was touring a Windsor car plant. A journalist asked him what the status of the Freedom Convoy movement was a year after the Freedom Convoy protest. And Justin Trudeau launches into an unhinged 5-minute rant against Pierre Poilievre, Freedom Convoy supporters, basically anyone who has opposed him over the past 3 years. And now it's 5 minutes, so to spare you, we've clipped just the very best parts. Watch this.
Do you feel the movement has grown? Do you feel it's abated? What's your read on what's happened over the past 12 months?
I don't know. I think that's a better question to ask Mr. Poilievre. He seems a lot closer to the convoy. My approach is very much on making sure that we're delivering good jobs and good opportunities for Canadians. We know that people are worried and even frustrated about how the world is unfolding around them. And as a politician, you have two choices. You can either try and amplify those fears, make people even madder, and reflect that anger and that uncertainty that people are legitimately feeling because the world is changing in unpredictable ways, reflect that back at them without offering real solutions. Or you can choose to buckle down and deliver on the kinds of things that are going to make people feel confident in their own future, in their kids' future, in their community's future, in their jobs. Listen, there are always going to be politicians out there who try to, exploit legitimate anger and concerns that people have. But that's not the way to get something built. Crossing your arms and saying Canada is broken. It's not the way to build a better future for Canadians. Recognizing, we're facing tough times right now. So it can pay off to drum up anger and encourage people to wave flags.
Oh man, there's a ton to unpack in that clip, right? Let's start at the very top. Justin Trudeau says that politicians shouldn't be using fear to advance their political message. Come on, that's the pot calling the kettle blackface there. Justin Trudeau and the Liberals' entire 2021 federal election strategy was built on divisiveness. It was designed to pit the vaccinated against the unvaccinated, telling Canadians where and how they could travel in their own country, telling unvaccinated Canadians that they couldn't sit beside a vaccinated person and put them at risk. Oh, that's definitely not fear, though. It's only fear when your opposition does it. Clever. Oh, and then he says opposition leaders can't cross their arms and say Canada is broken. They have to actually solve the problems. Well, I'm not sure Justin Trudeau gets this, but what does he exactly think the opposition leader is going to do? Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh sitting up there at the helm? It's not like Pierre Poilievre can just go out there and start writing legislation. It's you guys who have caused the problem here. I think what he's really saying is he doesn't want the opposition leader to better articulate the problems that Canadians are facing right now. And then the journalist asks another reasonable question, which is, do you regret calling Freedom Convoy supporters unacceptable view-holding, tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorists? And of course, Justin Trudeau doesn't regret that at all. Why would he? And then he says that as Prime Minister, he has to make tough decisions. He has to make the really tough calls. But his decisions resulted in people being able to keep their jobs and keep their livelihoods. Yeah, of course, except for, the tens of thousands of Canadians who didn't keep their jobs because of mandates. The tens of thousands of Canadians who lost their ability to keep their livelihood. Other than those people, of course, everything was just fine.
Do you regret those words now?
My responsibility as a Prime Minister is stand up for people's safety, people's well-being in this country. That's what I did during the pandemic. I took some tough decisions to make sure that people were able to stay safe. They were able to hang on to their jobs. They were able to make sure we're not overwhelming our healthcare systems and protecting those frontline heroes by getting vaccinated. And at the same time as 80% of Canadians were stepping up to do the right thing, not just for themselves, but for their neighbors. There were people out there trying to scare people into putting their own lives at risk and their communities at risk.
You can see it in that clip, right? Completely different tone, completely different attitude at the mic. Trudeau must have seen this polling data from Nanos Research. Now, Nanos Research, keep in mind, is by no means a conservative pollster. He's by no means a Pierre Poilievre supporter. In fact, quite the opposite, I would guess. But take a look at this. In Ontario alone, the Conservatives have surged away from the Liberals. The Conservatives are pulling away. The Liberals are down. The NDP are down. And also the PPC are getting beat by the Green Party. By Elizabeth May's Green Party, no less. Come on, guys. Figure that out. But the picture is no better for Justin Trudeau federally. Look at the way CTV News have written about these latest polling numbers. The Conservative lead, which has been creeping up steadily since December, is now outside the margin of error. And with the NDP increasing their share of the ballot, the Liberals are having their support chipped away at both sides. In an interview on CTV News' Trendline podcast, Nanos Research founder Nick Nanos called the numbers, quote, very grim for the Liberals. This is the worst way for the Liberals to start off their year because they're basically back on their heels, and it looks like a significant number of Canadians are looking at the Conservatives. Oh no, Canadians are looking at the Conservatives. That's terrible news. Terrible news. Oh, really tough there, isn't it? And it's not just Nanos Research that are putting up these numbers. Take a look. They're all showing Conservatives well in the lead against the Liberals. Nanos has the Conservatives up 8 points. Abacus has the Conservatives up 4 points. Main Street has the Conservatives up 4 points. And Leger has the Conservatives up 3 points. That is to start 2023. Just last year at the exact same time, this is what it looked like. Nanos had the Conservatives just up 1 point. Main Street had the Conservatives and the Liberals tied. Abacus had Liberals up 2 points, and Leger had the Liberals up 3 points. Now, Justin Trudeau's 5-minute unhinged tirade, of course, went viral on Twitter. Take a look at some of the replies. He projects a lot. Everything he accuses Poilievre of doing, he has been doing himself. Like exploiting fear for political gain, like dividing the population to advance your own political interests. Oh, wait, Trudeau's never done that. He's just a member of a small fringe minority now. Nothing says beating a dead horse like employing excessive hand gesturing. Yes, a usual telltale sign, but like I said before, Justin Trudeau is the actor. It's actor first, politician second. So we have to understand that everything is well calculated. Everything is a well thought out, well choreographed move to potentially deceive Canadians into thinking maybe he's down and out. Now, polls can tell us a lot about public opinion, but as you're all well aware, polls are oftentimes quite wrong. But as Stephen Harper famously said, the only poll that matters is the one on election day. But there is, however, one tried and true method of getting a real understanding of how Canadians think about you. That is, of course, going outside and talking to them face to face. But for Justin Trudeau, that isn't really possible because everywhere he goes, he gets brutally heckled. And on Tuesday night, this is how Justin Trudeau's motorcade was met on his way to his $1,000 a plate fundraiser meet and greet dinner with Justin event. Ratio of the Week time. Let's get into it. All right, the winner this week for the Ratio of the Week prize is CBC British Columbia for this stupid video they posted on Twitter. This is the CBC president, Catherine Tate, who, by the way, makes way too much money, as you could have guessed, and doesn't even live in Canada. She is now going on a cross-country PR tour to try and explain to Canadians why the CBC is so important. And in this video, she talks about things such as the CBC's high standard of journalism, saying the CBC has the highest standard of journalism in the country. Do we really believe that the CBC's productions of Talking Tomatoes telling us about systemic racism, or the CBC talking about the first non-binary pansexual South Asian Muslim comedian really is the highest standard of entertainment in this country? Unfreaking believable. Watch what this woman has to say.
Welcome back. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight because CBC's president, Catherine Tate, is kicking off a cross-country campaign to talk about the CBC and what the public broadcaster brings to Canada. She joins me live now. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Anita.
I want to start by talking about this narrative that many say was created by Trump, that the media is the enemy. I myself struggle often to defend what we do here and the great journalism that we do. What do you say to people who say that the media is feeding lies?
Well, first of all, I just want everybody, especially those people who work at CBC, to feel proud of the incredible work of truth-telling. And the gold standard of CBC Radio-Canada, the journalistic standards and practices are really the highest in the country. So that's something really important to remind people of. But I also think that we need to pull back a little bit. It's one of the reasons I'm here in Vancouver doing an event with UBC and SFU tomorrow to talk about what's going on. Why is there this decline in trust, not just for CBC, Radio-Canada, or the media in general, but for public institutions, for politics, for government. What is happening here?
It takes a truly special type of person to be able to say this stuff with a straight face. Almost commendable. Take a look at this meme. Perfect. Before, journalists at the CBC actually did their jobs. And now, just like their counterparts, Global News, CTV News, our favorite at Ratioed, who else you want to throw in there? Toronto Star, Globe and Mail, you all know the rest. Now they're just Justin Trudeau stenographers repeating everything he says. In my Toronto neighborhood of Riverdale, where half the CBC's producers/talent live, there is nothing but quiet muttering about what a woke disaster the network has become, taken over by race hustlers, Marxists, and transsexuals. I don't remember asking for articles about the underarm grooming habits of Toronto transsexuals. You might not have asked for that, but clearly, if the CBC is doing it, that is what most Canadians want. Canadians clearly want this. That's why we give them over $1 billion a year, 1.2 to be exact. And here we go, last comment. I respect anyone who wears their bathrobe to an interview. Well, you know what? If that's what it's going to take for Catherine Tate to earn the respect of Canadians, a group of people who don't live in the country she resides in, well, I guess that'll be what it'll be. All right, that's going to do it for us this week on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Harrison Faulkner, and this is Ratio.